What is up again, everybody? We are back with another live stream tonight. We are doing something a little bit different. We are talking Rambo, as you can tell by the title. So I thought this would be a fun stream to do, but I did not want to do this one alone. I wanted to bring a good friend of mine on who's a big time Rambo fan. Is the one that really actually kind of brought this idea to my mind. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do it. And it's Jason from Backtrack Cinema. Jason, say what's up, dude.
What is up, everybody? How you guys all doing? Thanks for joining us on this Rambo ranking.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Jason, he's a trooper, man, because he was already doing a stream on his channel earlier. He was, he powered through it, and he decided to still come on and do mine as well. So I appreciate Jason. I appreciate you doing this and being on. I know you've had a busy day, so but it's always funner when you can bounce off somebody and talk directly with someone about these movies. So I'm glad that you were able to be here.
Yeah, me too, man. I usually can't refuse anyone when they mention any kind of Rocky content or
Yeah.
Rambo content. It's hard for me to say no. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's out that way with Batman and Halloween, and werewolves too. I mean, those are kind of my three things right there. But yeah, so guys, if you haven't checked out Jason's channel, go do so. He's got a killer channel over there. Great content. You'll love it. He's got something there for everybody. So, and while you're watching this video, hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Show me some love, so show Jason some love, and let us know your thoughts too about Rambo. What you guys feel, what's your favorite? I put a poll there in the chat. You guys can vote 1 or 2 in the chat. What's your favorite Rambo movie? I put 2 options up there: First Blood, that's the original, and then First Blood Part 2. If it's a different one, let us know. I'd be interested to hear all y'all's thoughts on Rambo. And I'm sure Jason and I will get into some pretty fun discussion and debate on this, which should be fun and entertaining. Because I think we have very different opinions on these movies. And I'll just go ahead and say, I have a very controversial ranking when it comes to Rambo. My ranking will probably shock a lot of people as far as how I would rank them. I'm not a Rambo diehard, I acknowledge that up front. I do like most of these films. I think there's only one of them that I think my lowest score is like a 2.5 out of 5, which is still decent. It's not bad, decent. But the other 4 would be a 3 or higher. So, I mean, most of these films I do enjoy, I do like. But Jason, I know you're the big Rambo fan. So I'll ask you this. How old were you when you were first introduced to Rambo, and what was it about Rambo that made you a fan?
Oh, loaded question. Well, I saw First Blood very, very young, like too young, I would say. I want to say 3 or 4. Like it was
wow.
a very early childhood memory. I loved it. And my parents would have to pause it. And I'd do this when he got cut in the flashback. It's because it terrified me. And like a lot of people are scared of horror movies. This is the movie that scared me, that one scene. And I would run upstairs. I'd hide in the bathroom. And then my mom would go, okay, it's over now. And I'd rush down because I didn't want to miss him beating everyone up in the jail cell.
There you go, man.
In Rambo 2, I was a really big fan of it as a kid, right? I had the poster, my cousin and me would watch that movie over, like my older cousin we'd watch it over and over and over again. And I guess with Rambo, I just saw him as someone being picked on, someone who was bullied, pretty much. That's how I associated with the character from First Blood, and I could relate to that myself going to school. So Rocky was like hanging out with a best friend. Rambo was like You could take all of that, the stress of school and the, being picked on, come home, I'd put
Mhm.
blood on, and it kind of just it brought me peace in a weird way,
Yeah.
in a very strange way. And I just connected with that character like that, and I liked badass action stars.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like Predator and movies like Aliens and the Chuck Norrises, the
Right.
Stallones, the Arnolds, the Van Dams. I just ate all that stuff up. But it all started with First Blood. I've often
Awesome.
said Rocky's my favorite film of all time. First Blood's my second favorite film of all time. Like, this
Yeah.
is not just my favorite Rambo movie. This is like my favorite action movie, my favorite um uh, second favorite Stallone movie. It's just I love it to death. I'm probably, you know, foreshadowing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, all good, man. No, that's awesome. Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, Stallone is he's got to be up there for just best action movie star type of people for sure. I mean, between the Rocky, the Rambos, and then all the one offs he did.
Mm,
Cliffhanger was awesome. Some of the stuff he did in the '90s. Over the top. I mean, some of those things are
yeah.
just awesome. Sean Sheridan saying Rambo, I hate the fifth one. 2 and 3 are not great. Fourth one is decent. Really like First Blood. All right. There you go. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know I'm telling you right now, my takes are going to shock a lot of people. Um, I was so I came to Rambo. I think, man, probably I would say I was probably 12, 11, 12 ish. I had already been introduced to Predator. I'd already seen Terminator. Um, and I'd seen Rocky. I'd seen most of the Rockies at that point. So that's where I knew Stallone from, was from the Rockies.
Yeah.
And then when I saw, and I think First Blood was the first one I saw. I did really enjoy it. I thought it was, a really cool, fun movie. And then when I saw First Blood Part Two, I liked it even better. And that hasn't really changed. Which we'll get into some of that. So, um, all right, so we'll get right into this. But before we get into the actual ranking, Jason, I do want to also know, outside of Rambo, is there a character in Rambo that I guess is your second favorite character?
In the Rambo franchise?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, it'd probably be Trotman.
yeah, yeah.
I
Troutman,
love that character. We got him in 3 movies, the 3 ones I grew up with.
yeah,
Um, by the time John Rambo came along, I mean, I was almost 30. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
right.
2008. Yeah, I was 30, almost 30.
Mm,
Um, when I saw that movie. So I was just married at that time, and I was a
mm,
huge Rambo fan. But the ones I remember, like the ones I grew up with, 1, 2, and 3, yeah, I have to be Trotman. I'm a big fan of Brian Dennehy as an actor.
yeah, yeah.
I think Will Teasel is he's not a straight up villain. You understand what he's doing, as
Mhm.
we'll talk about it. But man, I loved Brian Dennehy.
Yeah,
Man, I loved him in Silverado. I love him in Never Cry Wolf, the FX movies. Or
right.
is he in just one of them? I can't remember. But man, my dad watched Silverado growing up. Growing up, he'd watch it all the time. I loved Brian Dennehy as this corrupt sheriff. That
Yeah,
guy just is a remarkable character arc actor.
and
Great
he
character actor.
yeah, and he is good in the Rambo movies as Troutman. He fits that role really well.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, he that was a
So I
good
like
casting
Trotman
choice.
and Brian Dennehy as Teasel, the sheriff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
What's his name? Who plays Trotman now? Oh my God, how do I not know this? Uh
A new Troutman?
no, Trotman. Who's the actor? Richard Crenna. Richard
Oh,
Crenna plays
oh, oh, yeah,
Trotman.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's get right into our ranking. Five movies. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Jason, you're the guest of honor, so I'll let you start with your number five. Tell us what it is, what you would rate it, and maybe a few things you either like or don't like about it. But as we were talking before the stream, Jason likes all these movies. So I don't think there's one that would really get a negative,
No, and I
negative
don't miss any of them
review.
in a marathon. I wouldn't skip
Yeah,
over. There's just some I just returned to First Blood a lot more than any other one. But
sure.
now number five for me is Last Blood this time around. When I first saw it, I was fist pumping a lot, and I was just like, "This is the
Mm.
best Rambo movie I've seen since First Blood."
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't, I don't, I don't stand. You know what? I can kind of get caught up. I get caught up in the buildup of a film sometimes, in the hype.
yeah.
I got to step back. But when I first saw it, I was like, "Yeah, this is badass." Then I watched it a few more times. It goes down. It goes down. I think when I did my ranking on my channel, I had it at number three. Like I
Hmm.
said, these can really flip around. But Last Blood. So what are the big criticism is that it doesn't really feel like a Rambo movie, but it's a good action film. Yeah, I can go along with that. You know, it's kind of a Western vibe. It's a little different when you see Rambo in a place that's domesticated in a sense. He has this kind of stepdaughter, someone that he's raised, he's attached. It's essentially taken with Stallone with the Rambo character. And the funny thing is that when he did Rambo 4, he had Rambo 4 was supposed to be Last Blood, but Taken come out. Like Stallone had this idea and everything, and then Taken coming out went, oh, got to change the storyline. So he changed the storyline to the bunch of missionaries up in Burma and stuff like that. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, I don't like how they leave him in limbo because Rambo 4 ended the character arc so beautifully. I hate that he's just on the run, injured, bleeding, God knows where he's going, ready for another fight that we'll never see happen. I hate when characters are not completed in their arc and they're just like, if you're gonna do that, make sure you have another one lined up
Mm.
and you're gonna finish it. So I hate that Rambo is just sitting in limbo like that.
Yeah.
That's one thing I didn't like about the movie. Um, and honestly, really, it's just that the other ones I just watch more and are a little better.
Yeah.
But this one I could still put on. I mean, I love the relationship between him and um, I want to say Abigail, but it's not that.
His daughter,
Yeah,
or I
his living
guess,
daughter
yeah,
there.
yeah,
And he's got Rambo's going through the PTSD. He's got all that back, and he's on meds for it and everything. And then
right.
he's basically got and I like the balls that they kill her. That they
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
she dies. I think that was a cool, and that
yeah,
moment Stallone in the truck and everything's really well done. But the end, man, it's
yeah.
just badass. When he rips the guy's heart out, it's a little campy. Like it's a little bit like pulls it out like
But
an old
it's so
martial arts,
cool.
but it's so cool,
It's
right?
so
And
cool.
and
Yeah,
the way he does them all in,
yeah.
it's a really good action film. I get it where it we've always used to seeing Rambo just in a war situation, like a real full
Mhm.
blown out war situation. So it may seem you just haven't seen him in that light. I
Right,
guess but First Blood, it's not really a full blown out war. It's just more of a thriller. He's on the run kind of thing. So
right.
um yeah, and I think I don't know if there's much purpose to the character he meets in the bar who takes after him, who looks after him after he after the Mexican people all beat him up and all that kind of stuff, and she
Right.
takes care of him. She's pretty much there to fill in some exposition that just happened. This happened to my daughter or to my sister or whatever, and I do like how intimidating Stallone is in this.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
how he's just like doesn't care. Even the girlfriend who lures her in and he pulls the knife and slams it on the table and said, "I'm not messing with you."
Right.
Like he's serious, man. Like he will kill anybody to save his stepdaughter. Man, I
Right.
forget her name, but all the performances are pretty good. The
Mhm.
action's pretty good. It's got to sit somewhere, really.
Right. Yeah, yeah. It's got to fall somewhere. So
Yeah.
yeah. Did you see this in theaters?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. I unfortunately I did not get around to seeing it in theaters. I was in Maine at the time, and I didn't get around to seeing it, but I saw it shortly after, and I did actually like it. I this is one of those movies I don't really get all the hate for it. Like it seems like the people that I've talked to, almost all of them, have just really not been a fan of this movie, and I'm like I just don't see it. I don't get it.
I
I
don't
think
think
it
it's
was actually
bad.
no.
It's he does a good monologue at the end of the movie too.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
my buddy sent me the see I don't have the uncut the intro there where he's on the horseback and he saves everyone from the flood. I don't know if you've
yeah.
seen. He sent me that for me to watch it, and I was like,
Mm,
man, this is such a better opening. This makes the
yeah,
movie so
yeah,
much a little better. Saying that John Rambo's actually they call him when they need help saving people or people trapped or and I really like that, and it had a really cool intro, right?
right. Sean Sharon says Last Blood feels like a poor man's version of Taken. But hey, I like Taken, so I'm fine with,
Yeah, I think
the
Taken is a
no.
better movie as a
I
movie,
do too. I do too.
but like I said, Rambo Stallone had this all written out way before Taken was made.
Yeah,
It's just that Taken got made before this idea,
right.
and you think about it, it kind of makes if number 4 was Last Blood and he's on the run.
Yeah,
And then number 5 would let's say he traveled all the way to Burma, and maybe
yeah,
you see why he's
yeah,
so dark and doesn't want to help anybody, and he's really bitter. That kind of would have made more sense. And
yeah.
then bring him back home, the final movie, right, where he's comes full
Mhm.
circle.
Yeah,
But
yeah, agree, definitely. Sean Sharon says, "I like the final 20 minutes with the traps." Yeah, the last that last act is
mm,
really solid, man. Very visceral, very violent. Just it feels very Rambo-ish in that last 20 minutes, 100%. All right, so I'll give my number five, which is Rambo, John Rambo or Rambo 4. Take your pick there. 2.5 for me. I think this is a decent film. There's things that I do think they do pretty good at. And it definitely has some things going for it. Uh, my big issues though with Rambo 4, one of them is I don't really feel like I feel like Rambo was more reactive in the plot than proactive. Like he was more so reacting to things that were happening rather than like in First Blood or First Blood Part 2, he was really driving the plot along. In this one he's like he's just kind of on the side and then he chooses to get into the fight after it's developed. And I feel like it was almost more focused around the plot than it was on John Rambo. And then, secondly, and this was you kind of brought this point up, him in Burma never really made sense to me. He has no ties to Burma. He has no reason to be there. Where I think if they would have done the last blood story first and then put him in Burma, that would have made more sense thematically, narratively, than Rambo just randomly being in this foreign country that he has no connection to. He has no family there. He has no friends there. He's got no job there. I mean, I guess loosely a job, but like these aren't his people. He's got no reason to be there. And it's just
well,
like,
yeah, it
you
makes
know what
more
I mean?
sense if you it makes more sense if you watch the ending of 2 to this one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
he just goes off on his own and he's been bittered because of the being left behind all the time.
Right.
Like he's very bitter in John Rambo. I
Yeah.
personally, we'll talk about more of my thoughts when we get to it, but um, again, I think you're on crack with this one. This is not a 2.5 star film for me. I think
Yeah.
this is one of the best directed Stallone movies there is. In fact, it's almost like he was taking tips from Spielberg with Saving Private Ryan, the way he filmed some of the brutal war scenes. I'm just like, yeah, he wants you to show you like this is what's happening in the world,
Yeah.
right? And I like how the Christian missionaries. I like that angle because he's very noble. What does one of the guys say? It's very noble. They go in with no weapons, and
Mhm.
and really, what Stallone's trying to say here is that that we are primal creatures, and sometimes, like when you have no choice, I mean, you're gonna do what you have to do to survive.
Right.
It doesn't have it doesn't have a it's good. It's a good enough story, right? I think Stallone was just going for a real brutal Rambo movie.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I'm with you on that, and I think that, and that's where one of the things I would give it credit for, and one of the things I do think it has going for it is the strong visuals, right? Like he makes you feel the violence, he makes you feel the war, the ugliness, like all of that stuff is really what carries this film. But as far as like just eh, other than the brutality of war, I don't really feel like this movie has much to say as far as like
Yeah,
themes that it explores and stuff like that. I don't the group of missionaries, Rambo again doesn't really have any ties to them. He doesn't really know them. They're just kind of passing by. They're all kind of jerks, except for the one lady. They're all kind of jerks to him.
yeah.
Like
You know what? When I first saw this in the theater, I looked at my wife and I said, I don't know if I like this movie.
yeah,
I didn't like him teaming up. That's the '80s kid. I didn't like seeing him team up with people. And she goes, "Well, that'd be
right.
more realistic. He's a little older now." And I go, "Yeah, I get that." And but man, the more I watched it, the more I really grew to like it. And I
Mhm.
understand what you're saying. It it's like Rambo says to one of the guys, this is we don't want to be here, but this is what we do. We're
Yeah,
the type of soldiers, they're mercenaries. He was, we help people when they're in need. I think Stallone just needed to spend more time on like there's no connection from like 3. It's like he was going back to the military. It felt
yeah,
like that's now the original ending to number 3 was he stayed in Afghanistan. Now you see how that
mm,
would look now.
right. Yeah, yeah,
He
for
stayed
sure.
on Afghanistan to fight with the rebels and all that. And they changed that because of political climate at the time, but
Yeah,
so yeah, it's weird going from 3 to this.
it
I
is.
understand what you're saying, like, what's he
It
what the
just
hell is he doing here?
it feels
Like,
out of place. It feels like it doesn't really belong with the rest of them. It's
so
just a
yeah,
different setting that just doesn't feel makes that doesn't make sense for why he's there, what he's doing there. He's got no connection with the other side characters, and I don't feel the film does a good enough job at giving me a reason to really care about these side characters.
well,
Like I care
that's the
about
thing I was
Rambo.
saying. He was supposed to be doing the Taken storyline. This was supposed to be the Taken storyline,
Yeah.
and at one time, I think it was like he was gonna save Trotman's daughter, and it was,
Mm, that would have been interesting.
Trotman's daughter and everything, and it was gonna be with the Mexicans and all that. It was gonna be all that.
Yeah.
He was home now. Like, he was home now for Rambo
Right.
4.
Right.
But that because 3 looked like he was going back home,
Right.
going back to
Right.
the US, right? But so you kinda gotta just go, "Okay." I think Stallone needed, like, a little 10-minute intro of see where
Yeah.
Rambo's
Yeah.
been and stuff like that, but it doesn't affect the movie for me. It's a 4-star film for me.
Right. Yeah, I think the intro would have been more helpful, for sure. But I also find like I don't know. I guess the villain also kind of I mean weak again because like there's not like a direct confrontation with him and Rambo. Like Rambo, he's this guy is doing these evil things to these people, but he's not really after Rambo. Rambo kind of
No.
just gets into the fight
No, there it's
as it develops.
and again, I don't find any of the I don't think Rambo movies have good villains at all, except for the
No.
First Blood with Brian Dennehy, like Sheriff Teasel.
Mm,
They've always been pretty stock characters, right? Same,
yeah.
it's like Indiana Jones. The villains never stood out at all
Right.
in those movies, except for like Temple of Doom. I feel like that's the only Indiana Jones movie where the villain stood out. But I digress though. But yeah, I see what you're saying there. It's kind of like um it's kind of like he did have like a presence. There was a little bit of a
Mhm.
presence to him, kind of like, wow, this guy's mean, man, and this is
Yeah.
genocide and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I think John Rambo's more of an experience movie. It's more of that,
It
like
is,
the
for
beach
sure.
scene, Saving Private Ryan, where the tension's so thick. And
Right.
um, what's her name? Oh God, the girl there is pretty good. Julie, I don't know, she's in Dexter, and she's in
Yeah, I know
she
who you're
plays
talking
Rita
about.
in Dexter. I forget her
Yeah.
name now, but I think she's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely more of, one of those experiment like experience type
Yeah.
of movies, which, if it works, it works there. But for me, as someone that really values like character and story in a film, I just feel like we don't really learn anything about Rambo in this that we didn't already know. We knew he was a survivor, we knew he was a fighter, we knew he was broken mentally, fragile there, like. And I just feel, but I do also feel like his psychological victory had already been earned from the prior three films. I almost felt like this unhinged what the victory, the psychological victory that he had already earned. So it's not a bad film. It is decent. It's watchable. I just don't feel like it does much with Rambo as a character, which is what I want, because I do really like the Rambo character. He's one of the best action characters out there. And I just feel like this one did the least with Rambo as a character. It's got really cool visuals. It's really well directed and shot and all that stuff. But as far as what it does for Rambo, the main protagonist, I just feel like it comes up short. But um, yeah, that would be my take on Rambo. John, it's John Rambo in Canada, right?
I think so. That's what I remember it being. It was called John Rambo. Everyone else calls it
Interesting.
Rambo.
Yeah, yeah. Here it was Rambo. Sean Sharon says after 2 and 3 were too much 80s cheese. I enjoy the more grounded, gritty Rambo 4, although not seen it in years. And that is something else it has going for it. Is that raw, gritty, visceral feel to it for sure. Jason, what's your number 4?
My number four this round, this could easily switch with two at times,
Mhm.
is Rambo 3. I'm gonna go with Rambo 3. Man, I loved watching this when I was a kid. It was the most expensive movie ever made at the time, I believe, 1988. It didn't do well at all at the box office, but I've always and I've always enjoyed a lot of aspects of this. You get a different setting for one thing. It's the political climate that changed so much.
Mm.
By the time they released it, America pulled out of Afghanistan and or wherever they were. Sorry, I'm not familiar with the 1988
Yeah.
politics, but I just know when it was released, it was like Rambo's fighting with the Afghanistan. Like it did, and definitely looks strange now. You,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? People going back to watch it. So you got to get past that and just look at it as an action film. And man,
Right.
it's got
Yeah.
some great action to it. And I think it has a little more to say than part two, because at least Rambo's got this, like he's fighting against who he is, and Trotman goes, we didn't make you this fighting machine. We just chipped away the rough edges. You're always
Mhm.
going to be tearing away at yourself until you come to terms with what you are. And what is that? A full-blooded combat soldier, full
Yeah.
whatever. This is we didn't make you this way. You've always been like this. We just gave you a little bit of skills and stuff like that, but the fighter's always been there. So
Yeah.
I think that has a little more to say. And when he goes to rescue Trotman, he realizes what he is. He's a soldier. And the original ending, like I said, was supposed to be him staying with them,
Mhm.
coming to terms with what he is. And so I do like that. I think the camaraderie between him and the Afghanistan people was cool with playing the what do you call it? Their version of the football game.
Oh,
Um he goes kind of like football, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I know what
Uh,
you're talking about.
and it has the 80s cheese. That's where your
Right.
worst nightmare comes from. right? And there's a pretty cool end fight, but I've always just loved the part where and Trotman in the mix, seeing Trotman in the mix fighting
Oh yeah, yeah.
was really cool. Um, I've always liked when he goes to rescue Trotman the first time, where
Hmm.
he's digging out the mines and everything, and there's this sneaking around the fortress and everything, and when shit hits the fan,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like spotted now, and he's telling the kid go, and he gets himself out of there. That's a great action sequence with a lot of thrills and tension, and it's I know these movies kind of took themselves serious when they weren't really supposed to be serious, but I feel like this one's a little more serious than Rambo 2, and a little more he's a little more like the First Blood character in this one than he is in Rambo 2. I think even though I'm ranking this one fourth,
Hmm.
there's I don't know if you saw that movie Revenge.
I did not.
So it's about a girl who gets sexually assaulted, and they think they killed her, and she comes back, takes revenge on all these men,
Mm.
right? And it's a pretty good watch, but the director, it's a female director who directed that, said a lot of the inspiration came from Rambo. He said when she saw him take that flame to the bullet hole, that
Yeah,
really raw, um, like, oh man, when he
right.
heals himself with the stick in the side and everything like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great action film, and man, the stick fight at the beginning is
Oh yeah.
awesome. But the boy is jacked, man.
He
he's
is.
he's jacked in this movie.
He is bodied up, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is bodied up, 100%. Yeah, so, oh man, I know I'm gonna get in big, big trouble for this one. This is very ballsy of me to do this, but my my number 4, get ready everybody, is
You're
First
on fuck.
Blood.
No, there's no way. 4?
It's number 4. It's number 4. 3 out of
Wow.
5. 3 out of 5. Um, I like it. I like it. I don't love it. I think it's good. It's not great. I think it's got a lot of issues with it. I think obviously part 2 is way better in my opinion. But yeah, First Blood is the original number 4. Hot take, maybe the hottest take of the night for sure.
Hottest take I've ever
Uh,
seen. Like,
Oh man, Jason might just get up and leave now. No, it's so all right. So obviously it's a classic. Obviously, it is if for action movies, it's one of those, it's a staple in that action genre. And it has some things going for it, 100%. Obviously Stallone's performance, especially in that end monologue, just really emotional. I think the concept, the idea, especially for the time, this essentially Vietnam vet that gets outcast by society, by the very people ultimately that he was defending. He comes back to his home and his own people reject him. That concept, that idea has a lot of potential to really work, and especially for the time, for the 80s, coming out of Vietnam and all that stuff, it had a lot to say thematically. I think it does explore some of the psychological trauma of PTSD and some of the stuff that the soldiers really, and I mean really truly experienced coming out of that war. So it does some good stuff there. I do like the setting a lot. The forest, the woods. I love that setting, and that really works for me. My issues with First Blood, man, where do I start? One of them, I feel like essentially the entire plot of the film hinders on one decision by John Rambo. And that was when the sheriff, now obviously the sheriff was poking the bear a little
yeah.
bit, 100%, with the way that he was treating Rambo. But he takes Rambo to the bridge just to send him on his merry way. It was Rambo. It was Rambo that turned around and walked back. He knew full well what that was going to mean, what that was going to do.
Well, he
He
was
could
looking
have.
for a fight too. He was
He
looking for.
was. He
He
was
was looking
looking
for.
for a
He had
fight.
enough. That's what it is. It's all his friend dying. That's the catalyst.
Right.
His last friend dies. He
Right.
shuts off, and
Right.
now he's just like, God knows how many towns have done this to him. You got to realize that too, right? How many towns have done it, and I think he just like he says it. What does Trotman say later in the film? You did some pushing of your own,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So I completely get that, and that's
I just
I fully
like
acknowledge that's he's part of the
yeah, like he brings it on.
yeah.
He brings the whole war. He kind of brings it on himself. He could have just kept walking, could have just been gone on his merry way. Secondly, he has no ties to that town. His one friend, his last friend had died. He's got no job there. He's got no family there. He's got no reason to stay there, and he was passing through anyways. He was passing through anyways. He had no intent of stopping there. So why not just keep walking? Why not just
Because he
leave?
wanted something to eat.
He wanted the burger joint, man.
He wanted something. It's basically like it's what the sheriff is telling him in the car.
Yeah.
Right, where he's like, I don't want you here. You can go down the diner. And then John Rambo was like, and inside his head, he's probably going, fuck this. I'm not taking this. I fought for my country. I should be able to eat wherever I want. You know what I mean? So to me, it makes perfect sense. Like,
well, I mean, a lot of the stuff we find out about Rambo, though, we find out later on. At that moment, all we had really seen was one cop kind of be rude to him. That was it. I mean, he lost. We heard him lose his friend. We didn't see it. It was never traumatized. We didn't see how he was treated by other towns. This was the first town that he comes into that we see this. It would have been different and worked better for me if they had maybe shown clips. It doesn't have to be 20-minute sequences, but clips of him going from town to town being treated this way. That would have made more sense when he's finally pushed over the edge and he's had enough. But we don't get that. He's literally just the vagabond wandering through, and then all of a sudden he just snaps because he's treated a little rude by a cop. For me, it just doesn't work thematically because it's what they're trying to get of him reaching his breaking point. It's not set up well. It's literally he has one encounter with a sheriff who, again, he is poking the bear. I'm not putting the sheriff on, defending him, but Rambo is also Green Beret. So this is not the first time he's dealt with people, talking like this to him. If you're coming up
he
through
says
that
a lot at the
train,
end of the movie, right? It's a build up with him. This was the final straw. And I think I think his performance is saying a lot. That like when Brian Dennehy stops and he said good morning, and he said, wearing that flag on that jacket, you're looking for trouble. And Rambo just kind of goes, almost like again, right? So I think it's doing something well. It's doing don't tell me, show me. And to me, I think it's really clear, pretty clear what you can kind of fill in the blanks yourself. But I'll give you a pass. I understand that point. Maybe it also I mean, this movie was 3 hours long. I don't know if you knew that. It got edited down. That the forest part was an hour long. Stallone wanted to buy the movie back and scrap it. It was so bad, but they got someone to edit it in there. So to do a better edit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was long and tedious and drawn out, as Stallone says it is.
Yeah. Please smash that. Yes.
Thanks, man.
Jerry is in the house. What's up, Jerry? Glad you're here, man. Thanks for the plug. You're the best, man. Love you. Yeah. So, I mean, man, there's a number of things. I think that the second act, and a lot of the back and forth, it gets repetitive. It's kind of the recycled plot from the second and third act is just this manhunt through the woods. it's not really, the stakes aren't increasing. It's literally just the police versus John Rambo. That's it. Like there's no escalating stakes. You know, it's either they're gonna get Rambo and he's gonna die, or he's gonna keep fighting them and they're eventually gonna give in. But to me, it feels like it drags a lot to that second act. There's not like plot development. It's more just like a manhunt through the woods for one guy. And then you have Troutman, who I do love the character, but in this film, he's basic 90% expositional, 10% functional. And what I mean by that is his role in the film is 90% to tell you stuff about John Rambo, 10% actually functioning the plot of the film. And that 10% is in the last act when he's the one that calms Rambo down at the very end and kind of stops him from
Oh yeah, he's
continuing the
there to get
fight.
him out, right?
He's there to get
But
him out, and he works. But the other 90%, he's basically just telling us dialogue that we already kind of see. We already see, like he's telling us this is what John Rambo is capable of. This is what he can do. We already see that. We see what Rambo's doing in the woods. Like we see, we can put two and two together and figure out that this guy obviously has extensive training in military combat to be living, surviving off the land, outsmarting the cops, tactically putting plans together to take them down. We don't need like, hey, I'm just like one line of dialogue telling us he's Green Beret. That's all we need. That we can put everything else together. That makes
yeah, but
perfect
the
sense. It's
dialogue's
like
so fucking good, man.
it's good. It's good, but it's not needed. Is the thing. It's just we have the dialogue and the visual of it playing out. We don't need both. We can see and figure out everything about Rambo by what we're seeing in the film in the Force. We don't need this other character just giving us exposition about him when we already see what he's doing. So I feel like Troutman, and the acting is good and the lines are good, like you said, but it's just like functionally. I'm sitting there thinking, what purpose is he actually serving here?
Well,
Just
the
to
book,
just tell us.
he ends up killing Rambo, right? That's
I didn't know that.
the novel's a little different. In the novel, he's destroying what he destroys what he creates. It's a Frankenstein parallel,
Yeah.
kind of like Trotman is basically Dr. Frankenstein built the perfect killing machine, and he's really, you can see how Trotman's proud of it. You know,
Yeah.
he's like, you know, you're freaking lucky he didn't kill all of you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's something very proud of, and then he ends up um killing Rambo but Stallone didn't like that ending
Mm.
because he didn't want to send the wrong message to Vietnam veterans and everything, saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's all you're good for is, you know, might as well all die because you can't help you." It's a character study, man. Like it, I get what you're saying about Trotman, but this is more
Mm.
of a character study about a man imploding rather than exploding. That's what's so
Yeah.
great about that end is that the man implodes. Whereas if some people would have made that movie where he goes out in a blaze of glory. That's not what it's about. It's about
Right.
this man imploding. So, and I
Yeah.
get that. I get what you're talking about with Trotman. He's kind of like that in the second one. He doesn't serve much purpose. Like
We'll talk about that, but I
we're-
think he serves more of a functional role in the second one than he does in the first one.
he's
And
essentially there to get Rambo out.
he gets Rambo out, but
Right?
his act actually sets up the rest of the plot of the film in the second
Yeah.
one. If he doesn't get Rambo out, we don't have a part two. So that choice actually directly affects the plot.
No, but
Here, here's
I get it. He is Trotman does give a lot of exposition, but
yeah,
I think it's one of these movies where the exposition's really good.
it
Like
is very
it's
good.
the best
It
part of
is
the
good.
film. Some of it, like
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, and then the other issues is the cop, man. Like this guy is just like so over the top. I just don't buy that he would go to this extent over one vagabond that he served in Vietnam. He doesn't like Vietnam. Okay, cool. So you're willing to lose your entire police force just chasing
well, it's
after
not
one
that.
guy?
He
You
killed his friend once the friend died.
Yeah, but he saw
Right.
what happened. He saw what he knew that he was the one that brought the fight to Rambo. It wasn't like Rambo just hunted his friend down and killed him. He literally that was a result of his own choice to
Yeah.
hunt Rambo down.
Well, one thing that you got to realize too when you read the book is that Will Teasel was a veteran of the Korean War, right?
Mhm,
And they were kind of forgotten about. Stallone talks about this. They were kind of forgotten about, and the Vietnam soldiers got a lot of the praise and a lot of the attention, and
mhm.
that's what's really this is they probably could have done this better. That's what's really rubbing Will Teasel the wrong way.
Yeah.
Is that this
Yeah.
Green Beret is a hero, and I never got if you Teasel sits down later in the movie in his office, you see all his medals in the back.
Yeah.
Could yeah, they probably should have did it more like the book had showed who he was because the book's very cat and mouse. Them,
Right.
but there was a jealousy thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of
But
like
see,
what's rubbing
yeah,
him the
that
wrong way,
would have made more sense,
right?
but here, just thematically, what we see, it's like he saw what happened. He knows he brought the fight to Rambo, and I think he's just using the death of his friend, which he knows is really on his hands, not Rambo's, as an excuse to keep pushing the fight.
Yeah.
But personally, he doesn't have a reason to go this far, and especially when he's been warned. He knows that Rambo's a Green Beret. He knows he's this war hero, and he's pushing way too far, willing to lose way more than he needs
Well,
to
that's
be
what it
willing
is.
to lose.
It's two guys who are not willing to back down from each other
Right.
for whatever reason.
But to me, it's the plot is feels more forced than natural. It's trying to force a plot that they want to be this personal confrontation, but it's not personal because they were strangers. They didn't know each other. We literally see them encounter each other for the first time in this film. And Teal he's pushing the bear. He's poking the bear, but then Rambo responds when he could have just walked away and just let it be what it is. And then it just escalates to this degree that I'm thinking like, okay,
He should have just let it go and let him. Okay,
he should
it's
have
like
just let him
Trotman
go.
said, like provide a trap and pick him up in Seattle. No one will
Right,
get hurt.
right,
But
and
that's what he says, and he says, this is my town, and I ain't gonna
yeah,
let you or Rambo or anybody. It's a stubborn thing. It's a pride thing, right? It's
right,
um, that's what the character and Teasel comes off like that. Like no one's gonna tell me how to do my job. No one. I don't
right,
care what it's. He can't see. He's not seeing clearly. You know what I mean?
right. No, I get that. I just don't know that for me when I watched the film that the way that their confrontation escalates just uh, from a logical like just the certain actions that are taken, things that are done. I feel like okay, if you're a sheriff, you know that these other policemen's lives are in your hands when you're pushing this much over one guy. You can be as stubborn as you want, but unless you have a personal reason to go after this guy, you're not going to go this far just over stubbornness.
I think you'll
And
like the book more. I think you should read the book
yeah, I would definitely be willing to read the book.
or
But
watch the Hunted with
what is that?
it's Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro. It's kind of like
Oh, I haven't seen that.
it's kind of like the Rambo story where Tommy Lee Jones teaches Benicio del Toro how to trains him how to kill, and he snaps and starts
Mm,
killing everybody. He kills these hunters. And
yeah,
Tommy Lee Jones has to go after him, and it's more of the real kind
yeah,
of what First Blood would be like in the novel.
and that's called
And
what?
it's called The Hunted. It's done by
The
William
Hunted. Okay,
Friedkin, who did
okay.
The
Oh,
Exorcist.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
I'll
from
have to check that out.
2003.
2003. All right, I'll
It's a
add
really
that.
good movie. It's a
Watch.
really good. You like
Yeah,
First Blood, like myself, so I really liked that
yeah.
movie. But
One I like William Freakin. I love Tommy Lee Jones and
it's
Benicio del
good.
Toro. So yeah, I
I have
mean,
it on VHS over on the wall there, but
okay.
it's a good flick. It's a good flick, but yeah, I've never heard this point of view before, but it's I mean,
I told you
is it
I have a weird ranking, very controversial. I fully acknowledge that. I'll stop there. I'll let Jason talk about more when he gets to it because I
it,
know he's a big fan. But yeah, we'll move on to our number threes. Jason, what do you have for your number three?
So I got Rambo: First Blood Part 2, and don't get me wrong, I really do love this movie. I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's a better action movie. It's one of the great action movies of the 80s. It's Stallone competing with Arnold. He comes out with First Blood Part 2.
Mhm.
Arnold comes out with Commando to try
Yeah.
to top him, right? Big box office winner. This is the year of Stallone. This and Rocky 4, just huge box office numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do really like this film. I just don't like how he's more like a cartoon character in this. It's a little
Mm.
bit everything's bright and cartoony like and a little over the top. I loved it as a kid, and the action sequences still work for me for the most part.
Mhm.
Um, I do like if you get to know Stallone, if you watch interviews with him, and he was always inspired by the hero story, the
Yeah.
hero getting the job done. That and when you watch Rambo 2, you could tell he's still proud of it on some level because the hero gets abandoned. He still saves these POWs, comes back at the end, and it's the hero. It's the hero.
Right.
Like I really like. I love that part where he frees all the POWs and they're all
Oh, yeah.
falling. He's like, get up, you can do it, you can do it. I just love
Yes.
seeing him in that war zone and kind of thing. But I just don't feel like this is the same character as we saw in First Blood. He's not as quiet and looking over, and it's a little they throw in the one liner. I love the one liners and everything, but and I do like this movie. Like I said, I watched it so many times as a kid.
Yeah.
All the one liners are awesome. I think Trotman's really good in it.
Mhm.
Murdoch. I mean, it's just all these. It's just all
Yeah.
these characters. Of course, Rambo gets left behind. I just think. I just think Ko is so wasted in this. I think she's set up um, to be this eventually a love interest, and they kill her. I don't see any reason to kill her at all, except for Rambo to get mad because he would have went and got revenge on Murdoch anyway. He would have done that anyway because he got left behind. Right? The with Ko, it's like
Mhm.
she died just so we could get that scene which is an awesome scene by the way, where he's taking everybody out and he
Mhm.
goes to. I think they. Okay, maybe he wouldn't have freed everyone because they looked like they were going to cross Thailand together.
Mhm.
Like he was pretty much got captured. She helped him, and they were going to go off together. I
Mhm.
still I didn't see the reason to kill her yet, at least not yet. Um, it would have been interesting if they had a sequel where she would have lived, and they would have went and who knows um maybe like they were going to go across and Rambo would be like, well, we still got to rescue those men, and maybe
Right.
she resists and then they do it together. I don't know. I think I just really like the character of Ko, and I think there could have been a lot more substance to this movie. I like the speech at the end though. The speech at the end is quite
Oh, yeah.
good. I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
what they want, and with everyone who spilled their
Yeah.
guts, and for our country to love us. It's a little
Yes.
patriotic. It's a little it
Yes.
is a nice moment. The score. I really love
Oh,
the
yeah.
score. You know, dun 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 dun
Oh,
dun,
yeah.
dun, dun. Like you could just hum it. It's just I listen to it in my car all the time, right? And it's got iconic moments.
Yeah, yeah.
Like as a 10-year-old kid, this probably be number one, maybe number two.
Mhm.
But even as a kid, I like First Blood a lot. Um, but yeah, I can still put this on. I have fun with it. I find after that the mud scene in the mud and he's rolling up, find myself checking out a little. It's like
Really?
it's like
Huh.
it's dragging on a little too much, and even though it goes from action to action to action to action, it's still good and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just I find myself just kind of like I don't know. I think I'm just big fan of Ko and her
Mm.
not being in it no more. Although I do like him going dark like that and going to
Yeah.
the and burying her and the look on his face and everything like that.
Right.
That's what I mean. It's hard to say because I like this, but it's still number three. I mean,
Right, right.
and
Yeah, and
it's
that's yeah.
closer to a 4-star film probably than a 3.5 for me.
Yeah.
It's just that there's some things that just don't. I don't like the real hazy mist going on through the whole movie. And again, Trotman, he gets a pardon for him, I guess. And if he does that, he's got his freedom, which he does,
Yeah.
gets his freedom at the end. And I find it weird that Trotman has to bow down to this Murdoch guy when, I mean, this is a colonel in the army. You wouldn't think that he'd have
Yeah.
to answer to someone like that.
A
You know what I
special
mean? But
forces officer.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
a colonel.
Yeah.
Like, pretty cool conversation with them. You're just a bureaucrat trying to cover your ass. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, there's and it has the really, a lot of people would look at this now and call it bad dialogue. It's
I
which
think
he
it's
choose to call hell, he calls home, or which you choose to
yeah.
call hell, he calls home.
I think it's good.
You know?
If it's the characters, I mean, I'm fine with it.
but I have no problem with the action of the film. But
Oh yeah.
I wish it was just like John Rambo's movie had that grittiness to this movie. To
Mm.
those action that it's just a little. It's a
Yeah.
little. It's something you could throw your 5-year-old child in and watch. It's
Yeah.
cartoony. That's all. It just lost its atmosphere. It lost its grit. It lost its
Mm.
that coldness and feeling the elements and
Yeah.
all that. But as far as an 80s action movie, it's great. Like,
Right.
it's great stuff.
It does when you compare it to John Rambo, it does kind of lose a lot of that gritty rawness of it. I think that's partly because it was 80s compared to 2008 when you had the means to go a lot heavier with that
I
grit.
don't you watch if you watch Chuck Norris's Missing in Action movies,
Mhm.
they should have took a page out of that where First Blood happens, and the sequel should have been him in Vietnam, where they went
Yeah,
back when he
yeah,
was a prisoner and stuff like that, and then maybe did this movie.
yeah. I could see that. That
You
that that could
That
work
would have
too.
rounded out a nice little trilogy, I think.
Yeah, that would have worked too. Um, yeah, I'll save my thoughts on it because I'm gonna have it pretty high. Um, but no, I hear what you're saying. And I would agree. I could work with a couple of those things that you mentioned. But my number three, I don't think this one will anger Jason too much, other than me having it above First Blood. But my number three is Rambo 3.
That's
Um,
fucking, I don't get that at all, but okay. You tell me
uh,
what you like
so,
about it so much.
yeah, 3 out of 5. I- so basically, the only thing that puts this above First Blood for me is I find it more entertaining. That's it. I think it's more fun. The stick fight, all the action set pieces. I just the pacing moves a lot better for me. First Blood, that second act drags, man. I get bored. I just get bored in a lot of it. I
I
don't.
agree with you. I agree with you. He's in the caves too long. There's no reason for him
Yes,
to just wander around.
because
And he
nothing's
says,
happening.
yeah, and he says a few things that, like, don't look at the road. That's how accidents happen. Look at me.
Right.
It's this
Yeah, yeah,
kind.
yeah.
Why would he say that? Like, he's just, there's a
We're
little. I'll get to it when I talk about First Blood,
yeah.
but
But,
yeah,
that with at least where with Rambo 3, I feel like the pacing's better because there's more things happening throughout the film from start like, there's more. Yes, it's not as thematically deep as First Blood, but it's more entertaining. I can watch it on and not, be looking at my phone the whole time when I watch it. Like, I'm more engaged with it, which is really the only reason I put it above First Blood. It's still flawed. I mean, it's still got issues. They don't really do a whole lot with Rambo in it. He's basically it's basically just a rescue mission. Go save Troutman. That's basically all it is. But it works. It's fun. I have a good time with it. I do like that they actually involve Troutman in the plot. Like he's more he's more in this film as far as like functioning in the film. You get to see a lot more of him and Rambo together. They're having to work and fight it out together and get out of the plot. But it's very thematically thin. There's narratively thin. There's not a whole lot of layers to it. They don't really explore real meaningful themes in this one compared to the first two.
It's a basic about friendship and Rambo coming to terms with
Yeah,
he
you
is.
know, that's basically what it is. But it's just it's done in an entertaining way, and that's why I like it, why I have it above First Blood. They're both 3 out of 5. First Blood, I would argue, is the better film, but part three is the more entertaining film, and that's just what gets it the edge here. But I agree with a lot of the stuff that Jason was saying on it.
Hey
Uh,
Jeff, what's going on, buddy?
Jeff, yeah, hey guys, what's up, man? Leave your thoughts on the Rambo films, guys, as we go along. Like to hear what you guys think and whose ranking is more accurate, mine or Jason's. But all right, so we'll go to Jason's number 2.
My number 2 is John Rambo. I think this movie is just killer and fucking badass, man.
Wow.
Again, he's returning to the First Blood character. You know, he's just kind of off in the distance staring. I mean, God, when he's on the boat with the pirates,
Yeah,
and he realizes that there's no way getting out of this, and he just lines them all up, looks at where all their guns are, and just boom, 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 and the guy's like, no, no, and he's just like blows his head off, and he goes, "Who are any of you?" He says, "They would have raped her 100 times and cut your freaking heads off. You don't know what you're dealing with here. This is not your world," right? I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
and again, you know that when they're getting attacked, the village, and it goes slow, and that music kicks in, and it's just horrific things are happening. Kids getting stabbed and torches, and oh my goodness! And I think this is some of his best directing he's ever done. Maybe Rocky Balboa is a better directed movie.
I would agree.
That's probably his best directed movie, but
Yeah, I would agree.
he really showed. I think he's really come together as a filmmaker.
Oh yeah, for
with
sure.
with this flick and
Yeah.
Rocky Balboa, and Expendables is what it is, but it's still a great movie and
Oh yeah.
knows how to put together an action film. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I really like just I didn't warm up to this movie right away. It took a while, and it's a short night. It's not even 90 minutes. This movie. This is
Right.
a movie that's very short, and where he rips the guy's freaking throat out, and he's picking him
Yeah.
up, and he just goes like that. And then I really grew to like all the characters, the mercenaries, and everything after a while.
Mm.
You know,
Hmm.
he's the boatman. He drives the freaking boat.
Yeah, yeah. No,
But
it definitely has a lot of the visual
I
flair
think it's an
going for it.
experience, and you're supposed to feel. You're not supposed to really. It's not this engaging plot or anything like that.
Right.
It's Rambo realizes that there's these people going in with no weapons, something he would never do.
Yeah.
Like putting their faith above everything else. And I think he's just a little moved by that. He's just a little like, his purpose. He needs purpose, this character.
Yeah.
And I think this is the purpose whenever there's someone needs help or being saved or whatever have you, he realized that that's what he does. That's his purpose.
Right.
So I really dig this one, man. I just really, and the director's cut. The director's cut's pretty good.
I've heard that. I need to. I've never seen the director's cut, but I would be willing to check that out. Because yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this does have a lot visually going for it. But that's one of the risks when you do these kind of movies that are more about the experience, is that it's going to be a hit or miss for audiences. Either they're going to feel that, they're going to experience it, which is what you want them to do, or they're not. And if they don't, then if there's not really anything else going for it, then it's not going to work for them. But that's one of the, because there's other films like that, like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like that. It's one of those experience type.
Yeah,
of
that's why I
movies,
like it so much. It's just
gritty. Yeah,
I don't look at it as story, as an experience.
right.
Following Sally and Leatherface. That's another one I really grew to love.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah. Me too.
didn't when I was in my early 20s, I was like, I don't get why this is a classic at all.
Me too. Yeah.
I like the remake, but now I like the original more than the remake. personally.
Yeah, I ain't hating on that. But no, I was the same way with that one. I did not like it originally when I saw it, but then once I understood how you're supposed to interpret it, it's more about the experience. I was able to kind of sit back and put myself in that situation, and
Mm.
it really worked for me. But no, so I mean, I get you know, in that regard, why you would love this movie, you know, because if you're on board for the experience and it works, then I can see why this film would rank that high for you. Did you see all? So which what was your first Rambo movie to see in theaters? Was it this one or was it? Did you see part
This one,
three?
actually, this one,
Was it okay?
because I didn't see First Blood or Rambo 2 or
Mm,
Rambo 3. I missed Rambo 3 for some reason, probably because it was
okay.
rated R. Was it rated
Mm,
R? It might have been. I'm not sure. Um, I've been going other than Rambo 3. I saw every Stallone film in the theater since Over the Top.
wow.
So
Wow.
so
Okay.
since 1987, I've been watching every Stallone movie. My dad would take me to every single one.
Wow.
So like I
That's
saw
awesome.
Over the Top. I don't remember a theatrical release for Lockup, but I mean
Okay.
I saw Cliffhanger. I saw Demolition Man.
Copland.
I saw Cop. Uh, yeah, I saw Copland.
Okay.
I saw all of them, and then once Rocky Balboa come out, my wife and I we went to every pretty much every Stallone movie and Statham movie. She likes Statham, so we
Yeah,
both like him. So we usually go to see all his movies. But
that's
um,
pretty cool.
yeah, but it's only kind of a tradition with me. Like I have to see every. Even Get Carter, man. I even like that movie. Like I got
I haven't seen
enjoyment
that
out of
one.
that.
I haven't seen that
Um,
one.
but yeah, so it's been a little thing of mine. Always going to the next. Now I just want to see these movies in the theaters
Right.
as an event. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I would
Yeah.
love to go see First Blood in the theater, like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
theater experience of that.
I mean, honestly, I would love to see Rambo 4 in theaters. I didn't see it in theaters.
I saw it twice actually,
Yeah,
because
I would imagine it would this is a film that would go up for me if I saw it in theaters because in theaters, you really get that experience type of
well,
feeling. I
could
feel
you
like
imagine First Blood if they released it in IMAX? They made an IMAX
oh,
with
yeah,
him
yeah,
on the cliff.
yeah.
Oh God, like
Yeah,
why are they not doing that?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yeah. Hey, you need to put the word out. Make it happen. Let's see. My ranking is the order of release, but the first four are all awesome. Interesting. Okay, so your ranking would be one, two, three, four, and then five. Okay, interesting. In release order, huh? Um, all right, so I guess we're on to my number two. This is gonna I know this is gonna piss off a lot of people. Because everyone that I've talked to about this movie hates this movie. But it's actually Last Blood. Uh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Cancel me if you want, man. I'm standing by it. I
by the way,
really
Jeff, this man is not Rambo certified.
yeah,
So
no, I'm not Rambo certified. Um, I really like Last Blood, man. I think this has one of the most emotionally engaging plots. You know, the death of Rambo's daughter, like that, you don't get much more personal than that. I mean, when you lose, and the thing is, it's not just narrative. You see it, you know, they show you the relationship with Rambo and her. So when you, and you know, because we've seen the other four films, you know that that's all Rambo has, you know. And so when that's taken from him, it hurt it you I feel it more. Because I fully invest with Rambo as a character. I love that character that I feel his loss with him, which is
yeah.
one of the things I would argue First Blood doesn't do well. And that's you don't invest in Rambo's relationship with anybody else because you don't see it.
Well,
Even the
you're invested with him. Like it's
you're
more
invested with
you're invested
him.
with him, and that opening scene kind of that opening scene is a must. You have to watch it because
Yeah,
once Delmore Barry's gone, that's the
Right.
last he's the last one now, and it's more like, oh, he lost all his war buddies. Now he's being picked on.
Right.
All that you're kind of investing in him. You're feeling for him, right? A guy who served his country and is getting treated like this.
Right.
So
You
for
feel for
the
him, but we don't see any interactions with him or his friend or any of the guys that he lost. He's lost all these people in his life, but we don't see any of it. So where the script is asking us to feel sympathy for all that this man's lost, but it doesn't dramatize any of that loss. None of it.
you may like the prequel that they're making about
Are they making the prequel? Oh, yeah, that's right.
it.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're making the prequel of
I think that will
him
make
in
me,
Vietnam, and you're going to see him
yeah,
with his buddies most likely. And so who knows?
I
You know,
think
I
that
would
will make
suggest
me
you should
like the
read the
first one.
book, man, or listen to the audio book of it, or however you should really read it. I think you might like it more.
I think if I read the book and I think when I see the prequel, that will make me like the first one even more. Um, the Rambo 4 Red Band trailer, do you guys remember that? It was pretty shocking at the time,
I
all the
remember,
blood.
man. Oh my
I
goodness.
do remember seeing the trailer. Yeah. Because I didn't see it because I think at the time I know I don't think I was too young, but I think it may have been the rating why I couldn't get in. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I do remember seeing the trailer 100%. That was an awesome trailer. Davey, Death
Hey,
Ray. Hey,
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 Davey, what's
everyone.
going on, buddy?
What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Glad to have you. Um, but yeah, I just again with I get all the concept of First Blood. It's got a lot of potential. I see it what all it's trying to do. I just don't think thematically it executed those ideas on screen very well. Where with Last Blood, it dramatizes the loss. So you feel that the punch, the weight of that punch when Rambo loses his daughter because it's dramatized. We see it, it's personal. We want Rambo to get his revenge on these guys. Like you said, Jason, I like the fact that they were daring enough to kill his daughter off in this one, because some people may have not seen that coming. I think it's a daring move to do that for Rambo, and yet they went there and they killed her off. And again, it carries more weight to it. My issue with Last Blood is there's a couple of issues for me personally that do hold it back some. One of them, and I think this is a valid criticism when I've heard it brought up. The two halves feel like different halves. Like the first half feels tonally different than the second half. And I kind of see that the second half feels more like a Rambo movie, your traditional type of Rambo film. The first half feels kind of more like a different type of Western almost type of
Mm,
film, Western drama, with the drug cartel and everything. So that I think it does. I think that's a valid criticism. And I don't know that we pick up from a coherent place from part four, because
mm.
he's in Burma in part four, kind of shut off from the world, and then we pick up in five, and he's just back in civilization now, with his own family, and everything kind of seems all well and good. I don't know that was a natural progression from where we see him in part four. But I love this, the action in the second half, the kills, very much Rambo-ish. I love the end monologue by Rambo, how he acknowledges that he's lost, all these people in his life, but he keeps persevering. He holds them in his heart, and but that's part of that's who he is. He's Rambo. He's going to keep fighting. He's going to keep pushing forward. I do really like Last Blood. I don't get the hate for it. I do like that it dramatizes the plot a lot more than just tells you about the plot. That's one thing that I did enjoy about it. But I know
Yeah,
that,
it's I don't understand why people would hate it. Um, I just don't think it's as good as the others, but
yeah,
I mean, I would
three and
never
a half
skip
for
it.
me.
I would never skip it.
Yeah. 3.5 for me. It's a really good film. First Blood novel is radically different than the film. Same basic plot, but movie changed a lot for better or worse. And that's what makes me want to check out the novel. I think reading the novel would put things in a better light for me, and maybe make more sense
For
of things.
instance, he's naked when he breaks out of the jail cell in the book.
I mean, that definitely should have been dramatized.
He's naked and he kills everybody in the police station.
I said, yeah, see that would have made some really good
He's a killing machine that can't be stopped. He's literally like Trotman has to stop him
yeah.
because he kills everybody. Like it's just like you if you watch the First Blood DVD or whatever, there's cool commentary on the author
Hmm.
of the
Okay.
book, right? And he points out like the differences. It is different. Like Jeff's not wrong. It is really
Yeah.
different, but Stallone wanted it more Frankenstein,
Hmm.
feel bad for this character. Like, and at
Yeah.
the time, that was the right decision to make. You would have never got a movie likely would have bombed actually if
Hmm.
they would have just killed Rambo. It's like you follow this journey for this long, and just for him to, you
Yeah.
know, to be killed. And they did film it. They filmed Rambo comes up to Trotman and says, "Then kill me." And then the gun goes off and he dies.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Narratively, I think it works probably better the way it is than the ending that I guess is in the book. But yeah, since we're on it, I know it's Jason's number one, so I'll just go ahead and throw that up and let Jason talk about why he hates this movie so much.
Oh man, I was just watching it before we come on, just as I couldn't watch the
Mhm.
whole thing. I'm engaged from the very first scene all the way, basically to the caves is where it dips for me a little bit. I'm
Mm.
like, this is more of a thriller movie, really. It's an action thriller.
Mhm.
You get as
I can see
soon
that.
as his buddy dies and he shuts off, it
Mhm.
keeps ramping tension up. And I like things more realistic, more grounded and gritty. Even though I like over the top, excuse me, 80s cheese like Commando.
Mhm.
This movie is from the 80s, but it's a real gritty, down to earth, realistic film that's where you see this guy, this the tension ramps up because you don't know what he's going to do.
Right.
Like when Sheriff Teasel stops him and says, you better get your hands on that car, and then
Yeah.
he puts his hand on his gun, and Rambo just slowly looks up and looks right back at him, kind of think like, and it's just like
Right.
he goes along with it, and then you see the PTSD of what happened to him, and he's like, it, I mean, how could I not love this movie? It has like my favorite fight scene, one of my fight scenes of all time in the jail cell. The way he
Oh
cuts
yeah.
through all
Yeah.
those guys, it's great. And then there's that long chase with the cop and the motorcycle between Rambo
Mhm.
and him. And then we're up in the woods. He's hanging off a cliff. The helicopter's coming in. He jumps
Yeah.
off. The stunt work, it just everything about this movie is great. And then Trotman comes in, and we get great exposition. Um,
Mhm.
that whole scene with to eat things and make a Billy go puke, to kill. Period. Rambo was the best. And then when he's calling Rambo, Trotman goes, he's naming the whole team, Baker team, and
Yeah.
Rambo's like, it's like he wakes up and he thinks he's in Nam again. He's like Coletta, Bronson, Ortega,
Right.
Rambo, Baker team calling Raven, Cubby leader to Raven, come in, Raven. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's just an atmosphere. I mean, you talk
Mhm.
about atmosphere in horror films that you set a mood.
Yeah.
Nothing sets a mood like First Blood, man. The mist, the coldness, the town, just he sets that forest atmosphere. The hunt for the policeman in the book.
Mhm.
Again, he kills everybody in the forest. Um, and that's what he does here. He shows that I could take any one of you out at any time. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
And yeah, I could go on and on about this movie, but it's one of the first times we see a hero imploding now, and then you saw other characters do that where you got emotional over the character. The character wasn't this person who was this had this tough exterior. There's stuff going on in behind, like you got Riggs and Lethal Weapon, who's had a
Mhm.
loss of his wife, and he's breaking down crying. John McClane's the everyday man. So First Blood is an important action movie.
Oh, for
It's a
sure.
very
Yeah,
important action movie for its
for sure.
time. Often gets I think it often gets looked past too in some ways. It
Yeah.
almost feels like a cult film, even though it's a very
Yeah,
successful film.
I can see
Um,
that. Yeah.
um, but I mean, even some of those stunts, and my buddy, video tasties, Gareth, he interviewed one of the stuntmen on the film,
Mhm.
and like the guy, right, he was the guy doing the motorcycle that
Oh,
Stallone was
really?
on. And, like, I mean, one guy freaking broke his back or something doing when he went up
Wow.
in the cop car and he came down. It just
Yeah.
like there's some serious stunts in this and blowing up the town at the end, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the end exposition too, when he finally
Oh, yeah.
speaks and everything like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
that's a bloody good performance, man. You know,
Yeah,
I can't
that's the
find his
best part of the film.
legs. I can't find his legs. Where's his
Yeah.
fucking legs? And he's like, you know, I like when he takes the bullets and he goes, he blew his body all over the place. It's my friend. It's all over me.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
will like. And I hope that's got to be in the prequel. That scene has got to be in there to see that visually play out. I
right.
think it's going to be a really cool, interesting thing. And I don't want to forget the score too. Jerry Goldsmith's score
Mhm.
is just incredibly um it just suits everything about the movie. It has
Yeah.
that real military kind of sound to it. But yeah, you got to remember you're dealing with a character study. It's not a plot driven story at all. It's a character study
Right, right.
of a man being these soldiers coming home and not getting the help they need, the PTSD, all that kind of stuff. So
Right.
just at my time in my life, I just really related because I saw someone being bullied. So I got and I was just a huge Stallone fan too. So it has a lot to do with it. But
I don't know how someone cannot be a Stallone fan. He's just yeah, man.
yeah, he just
He's
has
so
something, man.
yeah, he does.
And yeah, I mean, anybody, you guys. In fact, I just made a playlist on my channel called First Blood, the Ultimate Movie Experience,
Yeah.
where I put the watch party in there, the review, my top 5 moments of the film,
Okay.
all First Blood stuff. It's like my full thoughts. Jeff
All
knows.
in there.
Jeff seen me do enough talking about First Blood. It's ridiculous, um, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was, you know, I hate to say you had to be there. You had to experience this movie when you're as it come out because it truly
Right.
it was different. I'm not saying it's the best action movie at its time. Like Raiders of the Lost Ark was a year before that,
Yeah.
and that had some pretty cool action
Raiders is pretty cool.
sequences,
Yeah.
right? But this one's definitely a game changer in the way we saw action films. The way we saw our hero. Our hero wasn't just all tough, and
Right.
they
He
never
had he
broke
had a
down. They never
fragile
showed
platform.
any emotion. They never you know what I mean. You had
Yeah.
finally a guy imploding at the end. Like, oh, what's this? Like, what kind of ending's this, right?
Right.
um but it's great. It's a great ending.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
yeah.
and 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 one thing I do love about Rambo too is that, do we get the win this time? This time it's up to you. And
Yeah.
like that's a great way to kick off that film.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Speaking of Rambo 2, I'll go ahead and throw this up. Let's see. Oh yeah, I gotta it is my number one, guys. I actually love First Blood Part Two. I think it's a great action film. I think it's a great Rambo film. I think it's better than Part One in a number of different ways. One of them, I think, um, the action is better. I think the pacing is better. It's much more entertaining for me personally. It moves along better. The action. One reason I think the pacing is better and why it moves along better is there are more characters actively in the plot to help move the plot along. You're not just relying on Rambo and the villain. There's POWs. There's the love interest. There's everything going on at command. There's multiple characters in the film that you can invest in that help move the film along
I'm just a
more in the
tension
pace.
guy. I like tension in all movies, and there's just
Yeah.
no tension in this film.
I I think
movie.
there is.
Like I
I
just
thi
got
I thi
I find there's none. I don't find it suspenseful. I don't find it has any
wow.
tension. Where First Blood, I'm on the edge of my seat after watching it 50 times. I'm still like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Even though I
Yeah.
know he can take out all these cops, but there's something about it. It's just there's something about ramping that the emotional tension up. I just don't get
Yeah.
with this film.
See, I'm the opposite on that. I don't really feel much tension in the first one, and I feel much more tension in this one. Partly because I
Hmm,
think the plot is more personal. These POWs' lives, like Rambo, has built this friendship with these POWs, so now their lives are in jeopardy. He's built this romantic relationship with the girl, now
yeah,
her life's in jeopardy. So that raises the stakes plot wise, narratively, it raises the stakes. So when the plot is developing, that creates more tension for me. So now I'm more like, oh man, I hope these POWs, man, I hope they get out of this. I'm hoping Rambo and this girl get out of it, man. I want to see them move forward. You know, like and so those added characters and their relationship to Rambo builds more tension for me in the film, and it moves the plot along better. I think the action and the pacing is handled better in part two. I think that Troutman actually has more to do in this than just give exposition. Here he's more functional. He's the one, as I mentioned earlier, that essentially establishes the plot. He's the one that gets Rambo out of prison. Without him, we wouldn't have the movie without
yeah,
what Troutman did there. So that right there is more functionally really than he had in the entire first film. On top of that, we also see Troutman uh, on paper. He gets more to do. From an acting standpoint, we see more range from him here. We see him getting angry at command. We see him actually defending Rambo, taking his side and trying to push and actually use his position as leverage
yeah.
at command
I do like
to
that stuff. I do like that dialogue. You know, what the hell have you
yeah,
done?
yeah,
You know what the hell you've done? You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Right, and his dialogue is more functional for the plot of the film. It's not just exposition for 90% of the film, and then he comes in at the end to stop Rambo. Like his whole part of in this film has more function. He has more to do, both acting wise and on paper. The character is actually plays more of a role in the film. And I like that we bring in these characters, and it's dramatized out more, which was one of my criticisms with First Blood. Is we don't see the dramatization of Rambo's psychological breakdown. It's implied and we're told about it, but we don't see it. Here, we see things unfold. We see the relationship with the POWs. We see his relationship with the girl get be established. So I feel and because of what those POWs have gone through, it makes me invest with them more too. And I feel like it has a higher stakes. It has more emotional or a more thematic weight to it because the escalation is better, the tension is better. Troutman doesn't feel I don't want to say he was wasted in that first film. He wasn't a wasted character, but he definitely has more to do in this film than he had in the first one. I also like so with the girl, I always forget her name. I want to say it's Cho. It's
It's Co
Ko.
Cobalt
I
Cobalt
always want to say Cho. It's not Cho. It's Ko.
Co.
So I would push back a little bit with she kind of feels wasted, and there wasn't really a reason to kill her off when they did. I see where you're coming from, but I would say I think there was a reason, and I think the reason for that, and if it didn't work for you, that's fine. I get that, but what I think the reason is that she does represent the life that Rambo could have had.
Yeah.
She's humanizing Rambo.
Well, and
And
she's the only one who ever gave a shit about him too.
that too. Yeah,
Like she said, "You're
absolutely.
not expendable." Remember, she
Right.
goes, "You not expend Rambo, you not expendable." I do
Right,
like when
right.
she goes, "Psycho girl, whore for
Yeah.
revenge."
Yeah. Yeah, she gets crazy. But she represents the life that Rambo, could have had, so when she dies, it's, thematically, narratively removing that life from Rambo because he's not meant to have that life. He's meant to be the soldier, he's meant to be the warrior.
Yeah,
So I think, as far as looking at it narratively, that was the point in killing her off. Also, it was a surprise, at least for me. The first time I saw, I didn't see that coming, so it adds more of an emotional weight to it as well. Because unlike First Blood, we actually see Rambo's relationship
yeah,
dramatized with someone in this film. We're not just told about his friend dying. We actually see the relationship being built out. So when Code does die, for me personally, it carries more emotional weight to it because I saw the relationship they had. I saw
yeah,
where they were going. I wanted them to make it out, and they didn't. So that was, a reason. And I think, structurally she does serve a purpose. She helps gets Rambo out of, captivity, as well. She also can speak the language, the local language, and help communicate to the people there,
yeah,
as well. um, and I just find it fun, man. I think it's a fun film. The monologue by Rambo at the end,
yeah.
when
It's good. Yeah,
Troutman was like, you're gonna get, the
uh,
Medal of Honor, and he's like, give it to them. They
yeah,
all deserve it more than I do, and he was like, what do you really want? And he's like, what everyone wants. I want my country to love me as much as I love it, type of
yeah.
thing. And I think there's a lot of good deep meaning that hits for me in that last, you know 15 20 minutes.
It's actually
uh,
Arnold's favorite Stallone movie. They asked
is it
Arnold,
really?
"What's your favorite?" And he really liked Rambo too.
Yeah.
And Stallone, they asked Stallone, "Well, what's your favorite movie with Arnold?" And I think he said T2.
Oh
So
yeah.
he
Yeah,
said, like, I think he said like
phenomenal.
T2 is him at the top of his game. It's
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But yeah, I love First Blood Part 2. I think it's a great film. It's doing more, structurally than First Blood. The first one is. I like seeing the relationship with Rambo, play out. I think Troutman has more to do. There's, I like seeing Rambo in this kind of, setting. So yeah, it's not as classic as the first one. It's not as important as the first one. I get all that. That's all fair. But from a viewing experience and from, just a structural, argument, I would argue that the part two is better than the first one for the reasons I talked about. But yeah, that was my number one. Jason, so I know you would give all these, I think, a 3.5 or higher. A part two is a 4 out of 5 for me. I love part two. I think it's a great film. When you do a Rambo marathon, do you always just go straight through chronologically, or will you randomly throw like four on first and then
well,
go to
when I do
two?
a marathon, I start from the beginning and do them all. But
Yeah,
more often than not, more often if I want to watch Rambo, I'm always heading for First Blood.
yeah,
And then sometimes that's all the only one I'll watch. Other times I'll get into a Rambo 2 mood and
yeah,
want to watch that, or a Rambo 3 mood. It just depends, really. If I'm not really into something very visceral and realistic, I won't put John Rambo on. You know what I mean? It just depends on my
yeah.
mood. But yeah, I always gravitate to First Blood. And yes, Jeff always
I
he
was
busts
gonna
my
say,
balls about that when I ranked it third or fourth. No, I
uh,
ranked it last, didn't I, Jeff? Yeah, I ranked it last in my
that's crazy to me.
right because then I had John
Wow.
Rambo at four. No, not John,
Wow.
Rambo 3 at 4, Last Blood at 2, John Rambo 4, First Blood 1.
Wow.
This time, Jeff, I'm sitting Rambo 2's at 3. So
Yeah, it's come up a
yeah,
little bit for him.
yeah. It's
It's funny.
but keep in mind I like them all. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not like
This
it's
is
like there's a bad it's like Mission Impossible. It's kind of like there's no
right, kind
terrible
of
movie in it.
right. Right.
right? It's one, or John
Solid,
Wick. I
solid.
mean, rank John
Yeah,
Wick.
yeah. Oh,
Good
man.
luck. Like, it's
Yeah.
basically they all got to go somewhere.
Right, right. Yeah, there has to be a number 5. They're
Yeah.
just, there's 5 picks, one of them has to be number 5. No, I get that. What do you want out of the prequel? As far as, like, what do you want it where do you want it to sit? I mean, obviously, you always want movies where you want the franchise to be
I
good, but
want it to just not shit on it. I want it to honor it. The way
Mhm.
Mike Flanagan honors material, like the way he respects, like what he did with Doctor Sleep, how he respected The Shining so much,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like the book and the film. Like
Mm,
he kind of grabbed two audiences. I want them to make it feel like a First Blood movie, like make it feel like that. I want to see like extreme violence, and it's the guy who did Sisu, the director. So
mhm.
I think it's going to be pretty vicious. I want to see more. I want to see him the way he was with the friends he all lost. I want to see what they were all like, and Trotman, what the relationship was like, and how,
Yeah.
I want to see them all in action, and the camaraderie and all that kind of stuff. And I want to see that shoe shine scene. I think that's kind of an imperative scene. Would you not agree?
Yeah.
Like that's something he lives with, right? And
Right.
after that, um, but other than that, I'm digging the poster
Uh-huh.
because the poster has his hand grabbing dog tags, and
Mm.
it says it just said, is it just called Rambo? I think it might just be called Rambo. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
And it's just got his hand pulling the dog tags.
Yeah.
And I've always said the dog tags mean a lot to him. I mean, I've never
Oh,
done
yeah.
military service, but when the buddy in First Blood goes to grab them and he just grabs his hand, like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do not touch my dog tags. It's almost
Right.
like Rambo saying he values these dog tags a lot. Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so,
it's your dog tags, I mean, that's incredibly important,
and hopefully
for
the
his
actor,
son.
whoever, I forget the name, Noah something, hopefully he can, give us a version of Rambo that feels like Rambo and
You
not
gotta
just like,
bring it.
yeah, you got to bring it. But I think the director is a good director. I think the writer directors and the writer director said he talks about how he saw First Blood as a kid, and he just like me, it's just one of his
Right, it's a
favorite
film.
movies. So I think it's
Right.
gonna. I think it will feel more like First Blood than anything.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting. And that comes out
next
2027?
year, next year, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
I think so. I think it's filming as we speak. They're
Okay.
in, like, cameras are rolling. This is
Yeah, yeah,
happening, and
yeah.
Stallone just became an executive producer on it.
And that's
Right.
good, right? Like, that
So
that that makes me
they've
feel
obviously
better about
reached
it.
out to him and want some input.
Right.
Because Stallone's got his own ideas of how it should go, but
Sure.
I don't think he's executive producer just with like give us your money and we'll make. I think
Right,
I think he's gonna have some input in it, or at least like a consultant. Like,
right. Yeah. No, that's good, man. Um, all right, guys. Well, Jason, if you want to let the people know what you got coming up, what you're working on, don't forget to go over to Jason's channel, Backtrack Cinema. Give him a like, give him a sub if you haven't already. Show him some love. But Jason, you want to let people know kind of what's coming up, what you got planned?
oh, I got lots. So next week, will be episode 2 of Action Movies Reloaded. We're doing
Mm,
Cobra. I'm doing that with a friend, Jeff from 101 Bronson. As you can,
yeah,
101 Bronson he's a big Charles Bronson fan, but he's a big action fan. So we recorded that. So that should be out next week.
cool.
That will be episode 2. Oh, what's coming next week too? Next Saturday, I got a blood sport watch party. So I've been kind
Okay.
of like popping the watch parties out on Saturday nights. So anybody
Yeah.
wants to come and join me on Saturday night, I'd like to have you in the chat for some blood sport.
Yeah.
I still haven't had. I got some pre-recordings to do. I just have not had time to get down here and do them. So
Yeah.
if I get an opening that just come on quick live, I might do some of the stuff live. But as far as I'm kind of working on this podcast right now, there's some other live content um coming
And
as well. I
and
got.
Jason and I are going to be doing another project later, a Terminator. project.
Yeah, that will be later on in the
Yeah,
podcast. There's
yeah,
12 episodes. I'm doing a season essentially. So once the 12 episodes are done, I'll be moving on to something else.
yeah,
And yeah, like I know I used to produce a lot more content before, but it's time. I got
yeah.
basically I'm a daytime supervisor now. I like at the shop, so I'm tired when I get home, man.
Oh yeah, no, I feel you,
I
man.
just work, family. It's just easier to come down here live and do a show, and then I can or do the podcast because it's very little editing because
Right,
it's almost
right.
like a live show. So that's all I can give her. And my computer's going, guys. My computer's
Yeah.
just like it can't keep up with my editing software like it could.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, I look back at my channel, go, I don't even know how I created half this stuff like so fast. I
Hey,
crafted it so fast. I don't.
dude, you've been like the Ridley Scott of YouTube, man. You just like been putting content out all the, I mean, but good content out. So I mean, that's what's cool about it. Well, but Jason, thanks for doing this, man.
I appreciate it.
I wanted to do a Rambo, either review series or a ranking or something. And I'm glad you reached out about this idea because it gave me a chance to talk about these movies. I don't know when else I would have done it. So and I like that because you made some good points on a number of the films, and it was fun for me to kind of feed off what you were giving me and have a good Rambo discussion. Because although I love horror, it's nice to kind of have a break from that for a little bit and just talk some action and some fun Rambo stuff. So thanks for doing this, man. Thanks for being on. I'm glad you were able to do this with me. But guys, let us know your thoughts on Rambo. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts, your ranking. And until next time, everybody, kick it and rock on.
See you, everyone.